Welcome back to the Night Crew podcast. I'm your host, Brad Ricks, author of the Night Crew series. And tonight's episode is a little different. This is a special episode. We're talking about the Night Crew 2 Bloodlust, which releases tomorrow, November 14th. I'll try to avoid spoilers of book 2, but I can't help it if you haven't read book 1. You are listening to the podcast with the same name. Read the book. This episode isn't just about a sequel. It's about escalation. About what happens when the dust settles, the blood dries, and the monsters you thought you'd beaten start whispering again. Because if the Night Crew was about discovering the darkness, then Bloodlust is about living in it. So let's talk about where we left off. So in the Night Crew, Michael White went from, he was a soldier, became a vampire hunter, to something else. A man cursed to live with blood on his hands and a conscience that just won't shut the hell up. We saw him lose Brittany, face down Silas, and learn that monster hunting doesn't end when the monster dies. It just gets quieter, for a while. Because now in Bloodlust, we pick up with Michael struggling to control the thing he's become. He's training under Thomas. He's haunted by memories he can't forget. And let's be honest, he's kind of hanging on by a thread. And that's the heart of this book. It's not about surviving the darkness anymore. It's about controlling it before it controls you. Hello, it's called Bloodlust. Now, every vampire story is about hunger in some shape, form, or fashion. Hell, even Twilight is. But in Bloodlust, I wanted to push it a little further. It's not just a thirst for blood, it's a thirst for redemption, for power, for forgiveness. Michael's curse becomes a metaphor for addiction, not just physical, but also emotional. He's trying to lead a team, Josh and Nikki and Nate, while, kind of hiding the truth. He's like one bad night away from really tearing them apart. The book asks a hard question. How much of your humanity can you lose before there's nothing left worth saving? And that's what makes this sequel bite harder. Pun intended. It's not about who's fighting. It's about what's fighting inside him. Now, the first Night Crew novel was, on purposely, it was fast. It was brutal, bloody, and I tried to make it as cinematic as I could. Now, Bloodlust slows the camera down. There are things that kind of linger. The violence is still there. Don't worry. It's plenty of blood. Again, the title is Bloodlust. But now there's also some dread behind it. His story definitely moves like a fever dream, from dark training rooms to Bourbon Street alleys dripping in sweat and sin. The opening scene alone, it's a night on Burgundy Street. It sets the tone. It's New Orleans at its most dangerous. There's sex, there's blood, and death blending together under, those flickering gas lamps. It's the Night Crew, but with gloves off. So, writing a sequel is a tricky thing. You've got to honor what readers loved in the first one while pulling the rug out from under them in the second. The trick is escalation. Not just more action, but more consequence. In the Night Crew, tried to teach you the rules. In Bloodlust, I take some of those rules and watch them burn. The council's gone. The hunters are a little fractured. The monsters, well, they're just not hiding anymore. I wanted to take the world and make it bigger, but also more personal. You don't see just vampires in Bloodlust like you did in the Night Crew. The Night Crew was centered around vampires, but this is a world where everything is real. All creatures of the night exist. So I wanted to really expand the reader's view of this world. So you meet succubi, which, so some ancient bloodlines kind of start to unravel. You get hints of something much larger coming, a war that's kind of been simmering since, for millennia. It's, the same. This is the same Night Crew. It's the same team, but the battlefield's evolved. So in book 1, the Night Crew, they were hunters. They chased monsters. In Bloodlust, the hunters, mainly Mike, are monsters. Book 1 is really about that revenge, about killing what took Michael's old life. Book 2 is about the aftermath, about realizing the monster he killed literally now lives on inside him. He drank Silas's blood, so Silas's blood is coursing through his veins. Even the pacing, I tried to mirror that shift, where the Night Crew ran like an action movie. Bloodlust feels more like a nightmare you can't wake up from. The danger's not out there anymore. It's in the bloodstream. And that's what I love about writing this series. It lets me explore both sides of horror, the adrenaline and the introspection. Now, where the Night Crew, and I've had people tell me, it definitely seems like an origin story. It is. It's Mike's origin story. It's your origin story, you as the readers, to the world of the Night Crew. Now, Bloodlust isn't just a continuation, because why would you want to continue an origin story? This is the setup. Every scene, every relation, every shadow cast on that New Orleans street really points towards something much bigger. You get new creatures, very ancient ones. You'll meet the sisters, the succubi who hunt in packs, and realize that there's an entire supernatural hierarchy waiting to step into the light. This is where, again, the Night Crew really stops being a story and it really becomes a world. Because a true series doesn't just follow the characters, it builds the mythology that can swallow them whole. So when I sat down to write Bloodlust, I didn't want it to feel like just another monster book. I wanted readers to feel trapped in the same hunger Michael feels, to understand the seduction of power, the beauty of control, and the terror of losing it. So I did go darker, a little more introspective, and I leaned into New Orleans. I love the city, its cemeteries, the balconies, the ghosts. The city bleeds atmosphere. You can feel the rot under the jazz. And in that setting, Bloodlust, it really just breathes. You can get lost in the streets of New Orleans inside the pages of the book. If you've read The Night Crew, you kind of know what to expect. There's some action. There's going to be some horror. There's humor. There's blood. But most importantly, there's heart. But in Bloodlust, you're going to see the crew tested in ways they've never been before. You'll see what happens when loyalties crack, when the lines blur between savior and sinner. And if you think this is the end, it's not. It's just the beginning of something much, much darker.